Get ready for Netflix's gripping new medical drama, Pulse. Set in a cutting-edge Miami trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips gets suspended. Then, with the emotional and physical stakes at their highest, a storm will push the hospital and its residents to their limits. Witness how life can change in a heartbeat when you're operating under pressure. Watch Pulse April 3rd, only on Netflix.
People who live in Las Vegas know that unlike most places, April isn't cliche springtime with, the leaves and the woodland creatures coming out and all that, but it does bring the start of warmer weather and the peak of outdoor events. April is a pretty nifty time to be in our city. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm joined by poet and artist Vogue Robinson and my co-host Sarah Lohman, and we're talking about all the glorious ways to get the most out of our little desert town with our monthly guide to April. It's Tuesday, April 1st. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Well, it is spring, technically. So we always like to talk about outdoor activities on our guides. And now is the time to be outside in Las Vegas before the heat really sets in. So let's get those picks out of the way first. What outdoor events or activities are you looking forward to in April, Vogue?
Oh my gosh, there's so many good things happening. I'm on the city of North Las Vegas's email list because I am a nerd and I want inexpensive things to do with all three of my nieces. So there's a Craig Ranch camp out April 4th to 5th. So it's apparently the only urban camping experience in Southern Nevada, and it's going to be $5 per person. Bring your tent, bring your sleeping bag, and you check in on the 4th at 2 p.m. You check out on the 5th at 8 a.m. And it's going to be a super fun day. There's going to be movies. Apparently there's dinner. You bring your own tent and your own sleeping bag. And I'm just kind of excited at the prospect of taking my nieces on their first kind of camping trip that isn't for real. In
This
the
is really cute, though. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, a bunch of little munchkins. But yes, and then there's breakfast. They're going to give you breakfast on the 5th. $5. I feel like you can't beat that. There's going to be activities. You got to do one adult per 2 children. They're not playing games with y'all. So if you are chaperoning small people, it's a 2-to-1 ratio.
Sweet. How about you, Sarah?
Okay, so this is the time to get to some hot springs, which I finally did after over 3 years in Vegas. Yeah. So as you probably know, a lot of our hiking trails will shut down as of May, especially the federal ones are going to close officially. So probably our 2 best known hot springs in the area are Arizona and Gold Strike hot springs, which are pretty close to each other. The trails to get to those shut down in May. So now is also the time, because who wants to be sitting in a hot spring on a 100-degree day anyway? It feels like bathwater. So as promised from my last monthly guide, my sisters did come into town and we did end up doing a 12-mile kayak trip from Hoover Dam to Willow Beach. We were very sore at the end of it. I felt much better than I expected to the next day, though, so I'm not as old as I occasionally feel. But as a part of that trip, that you actually stopped by 2 different hot springs, including Gold Strike. So I didn't know Gold Strike was accessible from the Colorado River, which it is. So if you take the Gold Strike trail, and the Gold Strike hot springs are sort of tiered, and it's different heat levels. If you go all the way down, you can keep walking and actually go down to the Colorado River. There's also a campsite with bathrooms there. So it's a pretty popular campsite. It's just like BLM. I don't believe there's reservations needed, but there's a place to potty, which is always a benefit for me when I'm camping. But also if you're just hiking the Gold Strike trail, which you can, there's a parking lot access to, you can hike all the way down to the river, do some bird watching. We saw so many birds. It was so beautiful. I would love to tell you about my new favorite bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That I learned about on this trip. It's called a canyon wren. Look it up. It is the teeny tiniest, most burbiest bird, and it has this huge, powerful
That's
call.
That's a poem.
Oh, the
Sarah, you're
bird.
taking Vogue's option here of throwing in a poem here and there.
It just fills the whole Colorado Canyon, and it is this amazing, lyrical descending call. Tiniest bird, most mind-blowing thing. So anyway, if you go to Gold Strike, you've definitely got a chance to see them. Haven't been to Arizona yet. You can also hike out. That's about 4 miles round trip. But yeah, now is the time to do it before they close for the season. And also, it's still a little chilly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I take advantage of April because I always forget, and then it's too late, to go to Valley of Fire.
Oh.
It's such a quick drive from Las Vegas. But, after May 15, a lot of the trails closed down, including my fave, which is the White Domes Loop. But there's also the Firewave Seven Wonders Loop, the Pastel Canyon, the Pink Canyon, Pinnacles, Prospect Trail, Arrowhead Trail, on and on and on, Arch Rock.
What's your fave?
My fave is absolutely White Domes. It's an easy loop, and the rocks there is just so kind of porous. It's really easy to kind of climb up them and get these great vistas in your regular shoes. You don't need special hiking gear or anything like that, although you do want to be careful.
You can scramble a little.
Yeah, you scramble a little bit. But, I think that everyone knows that staying hydrated and replacing your electrolytes and all that's really important. They have so many medical emergencies that happen up there that, you really do want to be cautious and not reckless. Though it is so beautiful, you kind of lose yourself because it's so otherworldly. So just a couple quick little details. It is a state park, so hopefully will not be impacted by all the chaos and madness. But it is $10 to get in with your vehicle, $15 if you're not a Nevada resident. And you just you don't need a day pass or anything like that. You just cruise around and just enjoy all the offerings there, which include picnicking and stuff like that. So a lot of people get there just using the freeway, but there is a way to kind of enjoy a scenic return trip through Lake Mead.
Yeah, I've done this trip.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous drive right along the lake.
And it's nice to change up. I don't love going back and forth the same way anywhere. So the fact that you can do like literally a loop to get back to the city is amazing.
Yeah.
And
being here in Henderson, you're kind of perfectly positioned for this loop.
Yeah, 100%. And then you do also, do that whole thing where you turn the corner and you see a new vantage point of Vegas that you're probably not used to.
Yeah.
If you're always coming in from Henderson or coming in from Summerlin or whatever, this is kind of a new way to enjoy the splendor of the Strip in a distance.
Dayvid, this is like you maintaining your relationship with Las Vegas. This is you being like, no, you got to look at her from different angles.
From a new
You got to love her
light.
from afar. You
Like
got to
a
learn all the
stranger
nooks and
sometimes.
crannies. I love this long-term relationship you have with the city, Vegas.
Yeah. So let me give you the specifics here. So to drive from Valley of Fire to Las Vegas via Lake Mead, you actually, and there's some good markings there, but you take the Valley of Fire Highway, which is Nevada Route 167, west towards Lake Mead, and then you just follow that scenic route along the lake's edge to reach Las Vegas. It's super duper easy. Allow yourself up to 2 hours for the drive back because there could be traffic and whatever, but you also probably want to do some scenic stops. They're also marked on the side of the road, some vantage points. Very cool way to enjoy a day at Valley of Fire and the comeback from Valley of Fire.
Listen, do that full moon hike and then come back along Lake Mead and just stop and see the moon reflected in Lake Mead. It's magic.
Let's talk about experiences for April. What are a couple of things we should go do or buy or get involved with this month? Sarah, you start it.
Well, okay, my advice is to get your home and history tickets now. This is Nevada Preservations. It's May 1st through the 4th, which actually I just realized I don't know what days of the week they are.
I love that your April tip is buy tickets for a May event.
You
That's
have
so smart.
to.
Oh, I get it.
Dayvid, you
No,
know.
I know.
Prepare
I
your
You
life.
know.
They sell out.
They sell out. Home and History is May 1st through the 4th. So that's a Thursday through a Sunday. They do events all over the city. Famously, this is like the only chance you get to see that underground atomic bunker house. They're doing a really cool bus tour of Henderson history. There's like behind the scenes at Clark County Museum. There's cocktail parties. There's a keynote with an architect. It's all cool stuff and it all sells out. So this is your 1 month warning to get on the Nevada Preservation Home Plus History website. That's plus the little plus sign and like figure out what you want to do, make the plan with your friends or don't, just buy the ticket and say that you're going and they have to like get their own things motivated. You know what I mean?
Get your plan together, people.
You got to get your plan together. If you wait for the friends, you're going to miss your chance. So that's my big advice for April. The one that I really enjoyed the most is Richard Hooker's like downtown walking tour, which, you know what, you can go to his
love
website
him.
and like book that on Saturdays too, but really is this like inside behind the scenes. It sells out a bajillion years in advance. Those tickets are already gone. Put it in your calendar for next December to get them if you want them.
Dang.
I'm going to piggyback off of that as a perfect way to gear up for the home and history tours is Duck Duck Shed over at
Duck
the
Duck
Neon
Shed.
Museum.
David, you're doing a talk.
I am doing a talk.
What, David? Tell me more.
I'm doing a talk on the book Learning from Las Vegas from the Yale architects.
Namesake of Duck Duck Shed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
So it's kind of its relevance in the modern day. It'll be a lot of fun. But there's so many good events there, including a Richard Hooker tour if you sign up for it. So you've got another chance to go do that great thing. But anyway, that's the 24th through 27th at various locations. You want to go to the duckduckshed.com website to go check out all that. But yeah, I'm going to be doing it on that Thursday, a talk over at Binion's.
And Duck Duck Shed has an overarching theme of like they're talking about architecture and design, right?
Yeah. It's really sort of an architecture, design, and culture festival.
Okay. Cool.
Very cool.
It is super fun. I've really enjoyed it. I love that this is like a step forward for the museum being like, hey, we are the cultural institution of Las Vegas. Also, David, do you think you can get me a comp ticket to your talk?
To my talk, you're my +1. Wait, can you be my roadie? Because I have a lot of equipment that needs to be like the mic stand.
You get a PowerPoint.
At my PowerPoint, you could run my PowerPoint. You could be my
Beer
clicker.
glasses
Clicker
holder.
assistant. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. How about you, Vogue?
Oh my gosh. Look, this season, this is the joy of spring, okay? Because if you read your child The Very Hungry Caterpillar, then you know what the caterpillar becomes? A butterfly. The butterfly habitat
Spoiler,
is open.
if you haven't read the book at home.
Spoiler alert.
Am I late on that spoiler? Okay.
Dayvid Figler. So the butterfly habitat is open at Springs Preserve, and you have to wait till this season to go in there because it's got to be not too hot, not too cold, even though they keep the butterflies in this, like, I don't know, it's like its own miniature life place habitat for duh. But it's temperature controlled. So from April 5th to May 26th, that's your season to go in to see the butterflies. And they're open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. What I love about it is, I mean, it does feel like you're going into like this secret garden space because it has like the airlock. So like you walk into one door, they close it, and then they open the other door to let you into the butterfly habitat. And then there's all the trees, there's some flowers, there's just like cut open oranges for the butterflies to like, I don't know, get their nutrients on.
Get the little proboscis in.
So is it like a human-sized terrarium?
Yes, but like bigger. It's pretty massive. Every year, like the girls, my nieces, a butterfly will land on like the niece's shoulders. There's one who I swear is going to be like a Dr. Dolittle kind of kid. It's just magical, all the beautiful colors and this transformation, this gigantic symbol of spring. So if you're a resident, then it's $9.95 to get in. With kiddos from 3 to 17 are $4.95 if they're residents. But honestly, just get a membership. The membership is $30 for one person, but the family membership is the one because it's $60, which is for like 2 specific adults and then 6 kids. So you can't beat that. And it's not only entrance into the Springs Preserve, it's entrance into the Nevada Museum. And so the Nevada State Museum. So you can go to like Discovery Saturdays. You can look at our state fossil, the ichthyosaur, learn about the Hoover Dam and the atomic era. So there's so much to learn and enjoy. And I think sometimes I'll like go straight, take a beeline to the Springs Preserve because I'm like, ooh, nature and joy and animals and whatever else they got going on. But don't neglect that museum. They're tied together and it's like a perfect like learning day where it's so interactive, especially if you have little people and they need to do something and learn things that's a little bit more hands-on. It's the best bang for your buck in town, period. Get in there. This has been Vogue's commercial for memberships at Springs Preserve, but they don't pay me. I just love them.
If you think you know everything there is to know about Las Vegas, well, think again. Duck Duck Shed is a 3-day festival where the city's true story comes to life. From April 24th through the 27th, the Neon Museum brings you exclusive tours, expert-led panels, and engaging conversations with the architects, designers, and storytellers who built and are still building Las Vegas into the entertainment capital of the world. Duck Duck Shed, it's a phrase from the seminal architecture book Learning from Las Vegas. I'm excited to have been invited to give a talk at the fest about how we do and don't continue to learn lessons about our city's unique design. So whether you're an industry professional or just love the city, Duck Duck Shed offers a deeper look into our growth, culture, and history. Tickets are on sale now at duckduckshed.com. Register today and be part of this one-of-a-kind celebration of Las Vegas. Don't miss out.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Let's move on to everyone's favorite food. So any food picks for April, or, could be seasonal, could be things you've just been meaning to check out, could be new places. What do you got on the food menu, as it were, Sarah?
I have not yet been to Vegas Unstripped. I feel like I know it's April 27th at the Palms. It's like chefs, and chefs and restaurants make a thing. You pay an entrance fee and you eat their little snacks and you drink their beer and like hang out with your friends. That's the gist of it, right?
It's a food festival.
Okay.
Dayvid, do you have any tips for attending Vegas Unstripped? What are your tactics?
Get there early.
Yeah.
It is crowded.
That's the thing about food festivals, right? You waste the time standing in line.
Yeah. And while the shelves are pretty much staggered, when the first food comes out, you want to kind of plot it as best as you can, sort of walk the grounds, maybe one full time, see who's ahead of others and plan accordingly. But if you get there too late, they only bring what they bring, and it is a packed house. I want to disclose that they've been a sponsor of ours in the past, and Eric Gladstone is the promoter of it. He's a friend of the pod. But It is really a celebration of many of the talented culinary artists here in Las Vegas, and it's an event that people wait for. On our food festival episode, it was also a pick that our guest was looking forward to. Vogue, what's your food pick?
I have a lot of gifts. Gardening ain't one of them yet. So I depend on the Oboto farm. And what's nice is that their grocery store just opened up. And so now is the time to get up in there. Like last time I went to the Oboto Farms grocery store.
Wait, can you explain the concept a little bit more? So it's an urban farm?
Yeah, so it's an urban farm in the historic West Side, which has been categorized as a food desert. The women who founded it, they've tilled the land, they've tilled the soil, they've planted all these beautiful things. They're harvesting. So most of the food that's being sold in the grocery store is directly from their farm. So farm to grocery store, as opposed to farm to table is what we're working with.
There's a comedian who has this bit about farm to table. Every place has food that came from a farm, and every place serves it on a table. So what does that really mean?
True fact. Well, in this situation, I feel like it's more about like you can meet the people, as in like what hands have worked on these particular plants, fruits, vegetables, etc.
And it usually means that the farm and the table are in the exact same place. That is usually the thing. So that's the case with this grocery store.
Yes. Like I went recently, I bought turmeric, and I don't know whether or not they actually grow that there, but they got some good turmeric. It was 14 cents. 14 cents. Okay.
Fresh turmeric.
Fresh. So I'm just like snatching up all the good root, delicious things. What are those called? Aromatics. I'm getting all my aromatics up in there, but there's like all
good
this
root. I like that. Yeah.
all the good greens. And so I think for me, I just, one, wanting to support them, two, knowing that this is something that has been a dream for so long, and it's serving the community in such a very special and specific way. And I don't have to like wait for the weekend to get something from a quote unquote farmer's market. It's just right there down the street in my community. So the Oboto Farm is where I'm going to be going, so I can grab some stuff, farm to table it, Dayvid, in my house.
Exactly. I love that.
Wednesday through Sunday, they're open from 9 to 2 p.m. And there's no entry fee, so you just go in and grab what you want. And I think there's also like some shea butters and some things in there also. So go say hi. Tell them I sent you.
Nice. Well, speaking of sprouting, there's an area downtown that is starting to expand, bud, a little bit, if you will, that they're trying to call Midtown. I've never been really super happy with that title.
That's not cute.
It's basically just north of the Arts District. There is a hotel there called the English Hotel, and it has a restaurant inside called the Pepper Club. But they have recently, quietly, but very expertly gone through an entire revamping of their food offerings. And before it was kind of like a sushi, seafoody, it wasn't really sure what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
But they tapped into the culinary curation of Bruce Kallman that you might know from the Soul Belly Empire, also Top Chef. He created this very modern Italian fare that is delightful. Once, like 5 friends all say, oh my God, you have to check out the Pepper Club. It's totally different, totally new menu. You do. And that's like my April pick is heading over there because it's this cute little boutique hotel. It's always been a cute space. They finally dialed in the volume because it was just so loud. But the food is great. You sit at the bar. This is my thing, but they have beautiful booths. I love a good snacky appetizer with my cocktail. They have these warm, citrusy olives that were just to die for. Just so good. But they also had like a squash with, I don't know if it was brown sugar or what it was. It was very savory, very rich.
That sounds right.
It was like a squash salad, but it was actually the segments of squash came out and they just sort of fell off of the what's it called? The rind?
The rind.
The skin.
The skin. Yeah.
The skin.
Just a lovely set of nice eats. And then they had big steaks and hamburgers and all that stuff too. But it was kind of like American and Italian sort of fare. And then there's another place, which is a brew house and seafood bar across the street. I believe it's pronounced Chin Chin. Also lovely to go into a beer place that also does sushi really well. And both those places have good sort of like happy hour locals discounts. So you want to definitely go to Shin Shin on Wednesday nights, on Thursday over at Pepper Club.
Weeknights for the
so
win.
good. Yeah. At Shin Shin, which is essentially a sushi forward place, like that Wednesday happy hour was insane. They must have had 25 items on it and they mostly were under $10 each. Totally affordable and really good food. That's our Wednesday spot. Now to be overrun because I've given that tip away, but it is definitely the find.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
All right, let's move on to our kicker of the month. I just really want there to be something there, but I'm just going to say it's the kicker. So, team, if we had to pick one event that we are making time for this month, what is it? Where will you see us? Vogue and Sarah and Dayvid out. Maybe not together, maybe.
Our powers combined. Captain Planet.
Yeah. My pick for kicker event is not going to surprise anyone because it is deeply dorky about the things I'm nerdy about. It is the native plant sale at the Henderson Bird Viewing Preserve in collaboration with Red Rock Audubon, Cactus Joe's, and Desert Love.
Put a bird on it. You are the hipster.
Put a bird on it. Do love a bird. Do love a native plant. So, listen, I love doing something in my neck of the woods. This is close by. If you all haven't made it out to the Henderson Bird Viewing Preserve, it's always free, and this is a great time to go. It opens early. So there's also going to be free birding tours and free landscape tours
that's cool.
with the goal of teaching you how to create a native yard that serves our native insects and bird populations too. Those start at 8 or 8:30, but I do believe that the Bird Viewing Preserve opens even earlier so you can see the birds. And the plant sale starts at 10. It's free entry. Of course, you have to pay for the plants, but the tours and everything are free as well. And it's just like a really cool spot to visit. When you're driving there, you're going to be a little like, where am I? Is this where I get murdered? What's that smell? It's okay. Keep driving. You're going to the right place because famously, these started out as sort of later stage water filtration areas for our water plant here that began attracting migrating birds. Yeah, you didn't know? It's like right next to the waste treatment plant.
I mean, it totally makes sense, but...
Yeah, it flows out from here to the wash. So it always attracted migrating birds and water birds. So they just kind of made it official. I have had more luck with plants that have been started, like what you're going to find at the native plant sale. Make sure you leave them in the sun for a couple days, then move them to where you're going to plant them and leave them there for a couple days to make sure that they're happy. Slowly adjust them. Then when you put them in the ground, put them on like a watering hose system for the first month. Give them daily water, then a deep water every 3 days, then a deep water once a week, and then they're good to go. Eventually, they get so established, you just have to water them maybe once or twice a month if it hasn't rained, but they do need a little help getting established and a little more water than you'd expect in the first place. And then it's like such an easy yard to take care of. Like it's just no worries, and it's going to be so gorgeous.
So much fun. Lovely. All right, mine's a very different sort of natural wonder. Do we all know about the commercial center downtown adjacent, downtown adjacent?
The original home of Lotus Siam, one of the original homes of the Green Door, the Office of Collection and Design that closed down sadly.
Bunch of art galleries over the years, some storied arcades, Kamal, the wonderful Thai restaurant, Pasabocas, the wonderful Colombian bakery, and about 1,000 other cute little weird, quirky, dilapidated, but also thriving places. I love the commercial center because it's just so weird. Not without its controversy right now as the county has sort of taken over parts of it. They already had the parking lot. A lot of tenants are upset, art's being forced out, etc. That said, the county and association with UNLV have been doing something called Arts in the Center, where they've been bringing cultural events to the different venues, including the Composer's Room over there.
Really?
And yes, on April 21st, they're doing something called Parking Lot Plays. And this is going to be the greatest because it is UNLV's Nevada Conservatory Theater who are going to be doing 5 short plays told in and around cars. So it is bringing theater to the people. There is so much inspiration in that space. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to show 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. There will be performances that seem like it's just normal chaos at Commercial Center, but actually with a purpose. It is free and open to the public, and I will 100% be there. How about you, Vogue?
I mean, like, we've been talking about a lot of stuff, but April is really for the poets, baby. April is National Poetry Month.
Says the former poet laureate of Clark County. I love it.
Does hair flip. So,
Snaps.
In a true leap of joy, I will be heading over to Taverna Costera because my husband, AJ Moyer, has a feature at Spotlight Poetry.
Love that guy.
Yes. Coming out the woodwork. It's Thursday, April 3rd. It starts at 7:30 p.m. And it's just pay what you can, which is lovely. So, if the struggle is real, then just show up with your beautiful face, sit down and cheer and don't be a jerk face. And we'd love to have you.
Respect the mic.
As we say. AJ's work is so visceral and interesting. And lately, he's just sitting on this gorgeous manuscript about pro wrestling as an art form and kind of tracks his understanding of masculinity through the lens of being a kid watching wrestling. And I don't know, I love him, but he is actually a brilliant poet because I couldn't marry a mediocre poet, friends.
Well, nice. Judge much, but yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's your forever spouse.
I love these standards for Vogue.
Yeah. Well, inspiration comes from lots of sources. I have to ask you, Poet Laureate.
Of my heart.
Are you going to be doing any performing during Poetry Month in Las Vegas?
I don't think so. I've tried to take the same kind of standard for April as I do with February. Like, unless you're paying me heaping gobs of money, I'm going to rest in this month and I'll enjoy and I get to show up and be a patron of the arts, which is quite lovely. So I'll be in deep appreciation of numerous poets, but we start with my spouse. But no, I'm chilling.
But today's April 1st, so people actually have time to throw huge scads of money at you to perform your brilliant and wonderful poetry. So let us solicit for you as we wind up our Guide to April from CityCast Las Vegas. Hey, Sarah and Vogue, thanks so much for sharing your tips, and we'll see you outside in April.
Yeah, dude. See you out and about.
See you outside.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, go tell a friend. That's how the show grows, like the flowers outside. You can also rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky. Friend of the podcast, JJ, over at Grouchy John's, always does the same epic April Fool's prank year in and year out. Every year, he does a montage of memories and is like, well, that's it. I'm closing up. I'm done. I'm out.
That is
and it's
pretty
always
funny.
the same
but it did
gag.
get me the first time.
Yeah. So I love the Grouchies. But yeah, I'm probably not going to do anything like that.